Hey guys and girls, how's it going? Hope you guys are having a great week and have enjoyed E3 this week. So this is the first of one of many reviews and information videos really, and this one is going to be on the Microsoft conference. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a recap on everything that was revealed at the conference and then generally give you my impression of it. So let's get started, shall we? So the Microsoft conference this year was a mixture of both hardware and games. Pretty much Microsoft and Phil Spencer kicked off the conference straight away by showing the next Xbox One console, and that is the new slimline console, which is called Xbox One S. And surprisingly, that thing is coming out in August, so it's coming out really soon. But some information that we did find out about it, well, basically it's going to be 40% smaller. The actual starting price is going to be $299.99, so about $300. Now that of course is for the 500 gigabyte edition. Lord knows why you buy the 500 gigabyte, because by the size of games now, the space of your hard drive rapidly fills up. So pretty much if you want to get the 1 terabyte hard drive, it is going to be about $350. And then the 2 terabyte hard drive is going to be $400. Now, I know that I would probably pay the extra and get the 2 terabyte hard drive just because that shit's really good, especially if you're going to be downloading lots of digital games. Now, it's going to be HDR and 4K video capable, so it's going to support that. The controller, the actual controller itself has been redesigned. Not massively different, but it looks like there's like a textured grip on the bottom, which does make it easier for you in terms of gaming. And of course there is going to be Bluetooth support, so that's really cool. Now they also talked about some customization that you can do now. I think there's a new ability where you can actually build your own controller and you can customize the color sets and things. Man, I'm getting a definite vibe of mobile phones, like buying one every year, customizing your own colors and making it unique to yourself. So I don't know if I like this or not, but business wise, I suppose it makes sense. I'm sure a lot of people will be customizing their own controllers. I mean if I was to sort of say, I probably would do it black and red, the whole N7 colors, but I'm not paying for that kind of thing. At the end of the conference as well, they revealed Project Scorpio, which is massive. Now, this is going to be the high-end Xbox One console, and basically it's 4K gaming, which is incredible. It's like a PC. It's pretty much a PC in the form of a console. Yeah, it looks like Microsoft are actually going to start to build some pretty powerful hardware, which should be really cool for if you're a video game developer, obviously, to have that ability. They also want to completely support 60 frames per second consistently across their games. Now, Microsoft have taken a lot of stick really in the last few years, and their console's been accused of not being as powerful as the PlayStation 4. But I've got to say, it sounds like Microsoft are actually putting their money where it's worth and are actually building a pretty powerful piece of kit. They kept mentioning 6 teraflops of performance. Like, what's a teraflop, guys? Like, they just kept saying 6 teraflops. It's like this is some big technical term that means that this must be an amazing console and incredibly powerful. But yeah, it's going to have 6 teraflops, guys. Oh my God. There are going to be 8 cores, which is kind of incredible. It's going to have 320 gigabyte memory bandwidth, which if you're an online gamer, that's brilliant. Like, it sounds like the online system should be pretty cool. Whether or not the servers are going to support it, who knows? One of the biggest reasons, of course, for building a more powerful piece of kit as well is to support VR, to support virtual reality games, because obviously they are quite demanding, graphically speaking, and in terms of performance. So it seems like this is definitely a way that they're going in terms of supporting that basically. And of course, the big thing as well is it is going to be backwards compatible. All these consoles, these 3 consoles now, are going to be backwards compatible. So, if you have an Xbox One, you're going to be able to play your Xbox One games on there. Xbox One S, they're not going to have special games for that. And obviously the Project Scorpio games as well. So it sounds like you're going to be able to play across them all. Now, the Project Scorpio is set down to be released in the holiday of 2017. So there is still a bit of a wait away. There was no mention of price, but I would assume this console is going to be expensive. It's going to be really expensive. I'd be so surprised if it's not $500, like maybe more, like especially I don't know whether they're going to have different versions of it, whether you're going to have the high end version or the middle or the low end, who knows. But the hardware in this baby is going to be just absolutely ridiculous. So I assume it's going to be quite an expensive piece of kit to buy. So of course that's going to influence many people as to whether or not they get it, is the price point. There was very much this sense of like tearing down barriers and making it easier for gamers to play. So one of the other things that was pushed at the conference, which I really liked, was the whole cross-play idea, which is basically, if you buy your game on Xbox One, then you can actually play it on your Windows 10 PC for free, effectively. You're going to buy the game once and then you're going to have it available there. So if you need to go out, you can take your laptop with you and obviously you can carry on. And I assume, they didn't explain it in too much detail, but I assume your achievements and your save files, that's all going to be carried on. I don't exactly know how it's going to work, if it is going to work with the sort of online cloud. I guess it remains to be seen. But yeah, I love the whole idea of crossplay as well. If you're playing multiplayer as well, I think they were talking about how for some games, if you're playing it on multiplayer on Xbox One, you can actually play it online with your PC friends as well. Now, it'd be so cool if this was actually to expand into PlayStation as well, because there are some games I have on the PlayStation 4 that I'd love to play with my Xbox One friends, but obviously we can't at the moment. So I guess it just depends on how Sony approach it and how Microsoft approach it and whether or not they're willing to do that. But as a gamer, this whole being narrowed down to the console and limited to the console that you're playing on, I think that's going to go by the wayside. I think crossplay is where the future of gaming actually is, and I think we're no longer going to have Xbox fans, PlayStation fans, PC master race. We're just going to be gamers playing across all platforms and playing together, and I think that is really, really epic and incredibly insightful for Microsoft to be looking at that and already to be pushing that as a thing. They were talking about how they're trying to improve sort of online functions for gamers on the Xbox One as well. So they talked about introducing clubs, groups, arena for competitive multiplayer gamers. So just basically making things easier, tearing down barriers, that kind of thing. So let's talk a little bit about the games, because obviously the games is one of the most important things for me. Now, we didn't actually get to see really anything overly new. There were one or two titles which I'll talk about in a moment, but in terms of Microsoft's big hitters, all its original IPs, they were all things that we were expecting that were here. So they showed clip of Gears of War 4. Looked really, really cool. Graphically, it looks brilliant. Gameplay's same old what we're used to, chainsaw guns, so on. But yeah, it looked interesting. They showed Scalebound as well, which is one of the Microsoft IPs that I'm very, very interested in. In fact, it's probably one of my most anticipated games for the Xbox One that's coming out next year. We weren't given a release date on it, only 2017. Now, the demo was cool. The demo was basically showing co-op play where you could actually play. I think there were up to like 4 players that were playing to take on this kind of boss monster thing, this crab kind of monster. And I got a sense of like Devil May Cry, in terms of the style of the character, and the dragons look cool. I love the ability to sort of swip between getting onto the dragon and obviously being on the ground in terms of ground combat. But if I was to sort of critique the demo, I was actually disappointed in it compared to the previous gameplay demos that we'd seen. I think at E3 last year, or was it Gamescom? I actually thought that was better, and somebody was actually talking over and explaining things and how things work. But graphically, it looks incredible. It looks great, and it looks a lot of fun. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen more in the demo and have actually somebody come on stage and talk about it. But anyway, Scalebound is still definitely on my horizon for sure. They showed Rico as well. Now we only got to see a really short clip of that because that is something else that looks really interesting for me. It's like a platform action adventure kind of game, but it's unique. There's nothing else like it out there at the moment in terms of your robotic companions. We got to see some gameplay. It looked fun. It looked like you use them in terms of combat and also in terms of puzzle solving and navigation. And I would have liked to see more on Recall because that is another game that's on my checklist. Basically, it's on my excited to playlist. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen more about that. It was too short. I think it was like 2 minutes 30 seconds the trailer on it, so it was really short, but sort of seeing little snippets and things. And there was of course no announced release date on that as well, probably sometime in 2017. We also got to see some Dead Rising 4, which looked cool. Looks like they're going back to sort of what we're used to. It's set in Christmas time, so I would assume there's going to be a Christmas holiday release, most likely. Selfies seem to be a new thing as well in there. We got to see Forza Horizon 3. No interest. I don't care. I've got no interest in driving games. But hey, if you like that shit, it was here and it looks good. So anyway, we got to see Halo Wars 2 again. I'm not a massive fan of the Halo Wars series, but look good again. And complete continuation. So if you're looking forward to that, awesome. So yeah, Halo Wars 2 was there. So they showed us a little bit on indie games. Now there was a couple of titles here that really interested me. Two specifically. There was We Happy Few, which was crazy. Like it was like, it reminded me of BioShock in terms of its style. Like these guys wearing these like creepy masks, and like it was incredible. Like you, as you're playing through it, you sort of you see something that's not quite right in the world, and basically you see this guy being forced to take a tablet or an injection or something called Joy, which basically brainwashes you to make you feel relaxed and joyful. And then you got to this bit where there was like this piñata doll, and you're obviously on your tablets, and your joy wears off, and you look down, and it's not, they're not eating candy, or basically eating the remains of a rat. And at that point I was just like, oh my God, like that is so warped in the mind and so crazy, but I really want to play it. It's like, it looks insane. It looks scary and creepy as shit. But it actually sort of, it's like one of those games where it just sort of grabbed you and put you down in the seat and went, check that out, and it looked really interesting, and that's coming out soon. I think that's actually coming out in July. So it's an indie game, and it looks different, unique, creative, and creepy as hell. So I won't be playing it by myself. I definitely will be playing it with Dante, because I get scared really easily. But yeah, it looked very intriguing. So yeah, it looked cool. The other one that I really loved the look of as well was Sea of Thieves, which also looked incredibly cool. But I love pirates, and it looks sweet. But the only thing is it's online. It looks like it's online only, and you have to play online with your friends. So, you're going to need to find like a pirate army or something to play it. You have to have enough of your friends that own this game to play it with them. I'm sure you can make sort of your own online teams and things, but it's more fun when you're playing with people that you actually know. But it has given me an idea of maybe I could make an N7 pirate army, which would be really cool. So me and all my subscribers plundering the high seas and whatnot. But it looked like a lot of fun, and I love what they did with the gameplay demo and actually showing the reaction cams of all the different people playing, and really liked it a lot. So Sea of Thieves, guys, that's another one that's on my checklist as well. So then they did talk about third-party titles. Now the two main ones that they did really show was Final Fantasy 15. We got to actually see a huge boss fight against what looked like some kind of giant type Titan type thing, and it looked just as crazy as we would expect. We didn't get to see some like summons and things though. I would have liked to see more summons and like more epic. It was epic in size, but the guy that was playing him was just kept getting trounced, and you couldn't really see what was going on. It was really difficult to see, but yeah, I mean, obviously Final Fantasy 15 looks beautiful, and I am very interested in it. But again, the choice that they made for the demo was just disappointing and not so great. The other one that we saw, of course, was Battlefield 1. Now that game looks epic. It looks brilliant, and I'm not usually a big sort of Battlefield or Call of Duty gamer. I'm not a massive fan of those kinds of games, but I have to say that Battlefield 1 has got me intrigued. Especially, I love the fact that it's going back to World War One. I really like the fact that it's going back to that, and yeah, I mean the gameplay trailer that we saw, it looks epic. It looks really cool. The tanks look great. The planes look brilliant. The Red Baron and everything, and then obviously the big massive airships look cool as well. Looks fun. It looks a lot of fun. I'm more excited about playing the story campaign than I am obviously playing the multiplayer. Now I know the story campaign is not where it's at in Battlefield, but yeah, I'm kind of looking forward, and I'm hoping they do a really good story campaign. But Battlefield looked really interesting, and I think it's very, very interesting that Microsoft have picked up Battlefield 1 as their thing, and PlayStation have picked up Call of Duty Infinite Warfare as their thing as well. Now, I don't know whether that was a mistake for PlayStation, because definitely, I mean, if you look at the trailers, like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare has got so many dislikes, and obviously people are loving Battlefield at the moment, so that could be a brilliant ploy by Microsoft there to obviously promote it on the Xbox One. But yeah, Battlefield 1 looks really cool. The main downside to the Microsoft conference, I would say, is there was no mention of Crackdown. There was no Crackdown there. So, you know, in terms of original IPs, you know, we only have really, the ones that I'm really interested in really are Scalebound and ReCore. Those are the only two that I'm interested in. And then obviously I was interested in Crackdown, but there's been no mention of it, which is a bit concerning, you know, whether or not they don't have anything physically ready in terms of gameplay for it, if the game's going to be delayed. We have no idea, to be fair. We're purely speculating. But yeah, I think it's a shame. There was no Crackdown last year, and there's been no Crackdown this year. So it's a little bit concerning. But hopefully we'll see more about it at Gamescom maybe. So those are some of the things that we got to see at the conference. Now, one of my general thoughts on it, I thought it was good. It was a nice balance of hardware versus games. I had to say that the pacing of the conference slowed down a little bit in the middle. It got a bit boring towards in the middle bit. So it really did slow down. And, you know, if you're not that interested, I could definitely imagine many people switching off and turning off there. It would have been cooler to have seen more gameplay demos, I think, and there wasn't anything new really at the conference. It was lacking, apart from obviously Project Scorpio, that's a massive new thing, but in terms of games, there wasn't anything really new at the conference. There weren't any sort of wow moments of revealing these games that we had no idea about, like that Sony have done very, very well in the last 2 years. There was nothing like that at the Microsoft conference, and so pretty much all the games that we'd already seen a lot on them, and we were expecting them. The only one that sort of blew me out of the water was really We Happy Few. That was the only one that really sort of, you know, was a shock for me in the conference. But that's not a AAA game. It's not a big hitter. It's an independent game. So, you know, you can't really give Microsoft too much credit for that. But anyway, yeah, so, I mean, I thought the conference was okay. I thought it was great. I don't think it's the best one that they've ever done. But, you know, it's clear that they knew what message they wanted to give, and they did a very good job of doing it. You know, everybody was talking on the stage. There were no awkward moments or anything like that. But I would have liked to have seen more games, and I would have liked to have seen something new in terms of the original IPs, announcing something that we didn't know about that's completely new and original. original. Yeah, so there was nothing like that. But overall, not too bad a conference. But anyway, so those are my two thoughts on the Microsoft E3 presentation. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments section below. What did you generally think of the conference, and what games are you looking forward to coming up this year and also next year as well? All right, guys and girls, well, take care. I'll be back again later with more reviews and news about E3. Okay, guys and girls, take care, and as always, happy gaming. Yeah.